What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Kim Wilde and her 1982 album Select. Thank you as always to Mark. And the next tune is Just a Feeling. It seems to temper or downgrade understandings and expectations related to a particular experience. The idea that, well, it wasn't actually a full involvement, or it wasn't what it was seen as at the time. It actually was just a feeling. It wasn't actually a conviction, or it wasn't, a full relationship or something. It was just a feeling. So yeah, it seems to be scaling back other people's perception of whatever it was. Now, it could be internal. It could be like, well, I thought I felt this, but it was, just a feeling. It wasn't more than that. I thought it was part of some larger experience, but no, it was just a feeling. So yeah, it seems to be drawing a distinction between something more than a feeling. And no, I'm not talking about the Boston song. But yes, it almost seems to be doing the exact opposite of what that phrase would function as. So let's see what it is in practice. This is Kim Wilde. The tune is Just a Feeling. And in fact, now that I'm saying it as I go to play it, I'm also thinking that it could be in reference to a hypothesis. It's like, well, do you have evidence for this? Is there a logical train of thought? Like, no, it's just a feeling, but I think this might be the case. So it could be that type of just a feeling. Nevertheless, I'll try to catch what I can. This is Kim Wilde. The track is Just a Feeling, and it's from her 1982 album, Select. like, I wish it wasn't fading. I could listen to another minute or so of this, like, instrumental outro. So yeah, like when it started, I was like, oh, it's a bit different. It doesn't have like the drive and the pace of some of her other tunes I've heard on the first album plus. But the more it went on, the more I was like, wow, this is a really dynamic and compelling composition, quite apart from her vocals, which, she's not doing anything exceptional here, but what she does do, I think, is very fitting to the atmosphere of the track, and I think, she sounds... I feel the emotion of the tune in her vocals. And in terms of the themes, it sounds like it is actually using Just a Feeling in two contexts. Like, one, it wasn't what I thought it was when we were together, the narrator and this other person who she's singing to, though seemingly with them not being present. But yeah, saying like it was just a feeling, it wasn't the full and durable and long-lasting experience I thought it was just a feeling. But she also seems to be saying like it's just a feeling, and that like it is that kind of predictive quality. Like, I don't know why I knew this, but I knew this. Like, I thought, there was... And in fact, like, one articulation of it, the idea that, like, she thought there's someone out there, and all those, nameless, faceless people out in the world, she thought for sure there was someone just for her. And so, like, there would be no evidence for that. There's no necessary reason that would be the case, but it was a feeling she had. She was convinced of it. It's just a feeling. But then that kind of turns into the other meaning, it seems. The idea that this person is no longer around, they are no longer together, and so that it was just a feeling, not the full story as she envisioned it. But yeah, it sounds sad, and like she seems to be saying like she doesn't know when the change happened with this other person, but eventually it wasn't what it seemed and they've left. So it feels melancholy, and yet it's kind of like she's trying to piece together what took place and trying to understand why, it sounds like she was trying to understand in the relationship, and certainly now trying to pick up the pieces and move forward on some level, she's still straining to understand. So yeah, it's a very emotional tune. I love it's not quite like Baroque, nor would I say like, Gothic, or I don't know how to phrase it, but there was that like electric organ melodic line which had a bit of like a throwback drama to it. I enjoy the lush layering of the sonics, and maybe this added to that quasi gothic feel, but there was that like I think synth, like voice synth or like choral synth that was sort of steady. It was like kind of with the kick drum or the tempo of the tune, and that like again synth choral type sound or layer, which was I guess both melodic and rhythmic. It really gave it again a bit of this like theatrical, like old theater sort of sound is the best way I can describe it. So I really loved those elements, and there was like a higher synth melodic line that I enjoyed. So yeah, as I said, when it started, I was, like, oh, what's this going to be? This is not exactly like an energetic, floor burning synth pop track, a few of which we've heard from her, like new wave kind of track. This one felt more, not ballad certainly, but more like cerebral, and I enjoyed, as the tune went on, the composition more and more. So a really compelling one. And what was the line at the start? It was like, looking at you at the bottom of the river or something like that. I forget what the line was, but it was like, oh, it's almost like, at least, in an indirect way, a continuation of the previous track, the track with a question of like, has she actually jumped from the bridge? Is she kind of fantasizing about jumping? So yeah, it felt almost like, wait, we're picking up where we left off. Either way, a really cool tune. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.